The first time I saw Margaret Hensley, I knew she was trouble. Her navy suit was so crisp it could have cut glass. Her blonde hair teased into a helmet of perfection, and her eyes scanned the room like a hawk sizing up prey. My wife, Emma, and I had just moved into our dream home in Pine Haven, a postcard-perfect suburb with tree-lined streets and lawns so manicured they looked like they'd been measured with a ruler. After 8 years of saving, we thought we'd found paradise. But Margaret, the HOA president, was about to turn our new beginning into a nightmare. What started as petty neighborhood politics spiraled into a war that would expose secrets, shatter reputations, and leave one woman's empire in ruins. Trust me, you won't believe how this ends. I'm Ethan, a 28-year-old cybersecurity engineer who'd rather wrestle with code than deal with suburban drama. Emma, my wife, works for the government. Let's just say she's seen things that'd make your hair stand on end. She's calm, sharp, and has a knack for reading people, honed from years of handling high-stakes situations. Pine Haven seemed like the kind of place where nothing ever happens, but something about the neighborhood's polished facade felt off, like a stage set hiding something rotten. Our first HOA meeting confirmed it. Held in a soulless community center with buzzing fluorescent lights and creaky folding chairs, the room went silent the moment Margaret walked in. She carried herself like she owned every blade of grass in Pine Haven, her authority practically carved into the walls. Conversations died, and residents avoided her gaze, whispering like they were scared of being overheard. Margaret ran the meeting like a dictator, dismissing questions with a condescending nod and quoting the HOA handbook like scripture. When she zeroed in on us, her voice dripped with fake warmth. "Ethan, I trust you've reviewed our guidelines?" she asked, her smile never reaching her eyes. Emma leaned over and whispered, "Something's wrong with her." "You feel it too." I did. There was a predatory edge to Margaret, like she was already filing away every detail about us for later. Then she made her move. "Emma, with your government background, you'd be perfect for HOA secretary. We need someone who understands procedures." The way she said government background sent a chill down my spine. How did she know about Emma's job? We'd never told a soul. Emma declined politely but firmly, her eyes flashing a warning. Margaret's smile tightened, and her voice dropped. "Pine Haven thrives on participation, Emma. Those who opt out often find things complicated." It wasn't a suggestion, it was a threat. The room went dead quiet, and I realized we'd just been marked. That night, as we walked home, Emma's words stuck with me. "That woman's never been told no, Ethan. And she doesn't like it." I wanted to laugh it off, but then I caught Margaret watching us from her upstairs window, binoculars in hand, staring like it was the most normal thing in the world. When I pointed it out to Emma, she was gone, but the image burned into my mind. Who spies on their neighbors like that? A business card appeared on our doorstep the next day, embossed with gold lettering and a note. "Looking forward to your reconsideration." Emma shook her head. "She's marking her territory, Ethan. This is her saying she's watching." It felt like psychological warfare, not neighborly nonsense. 3 days later, Margaret called, her voice syrupy but laced with menace. "Emma, darling, we have a new project, and your expertise would be invaluable." Emma agreed to meet, not because she trusted Margaret, but to figure out her game. I wanted to go, but Emma insisted she could handle it. Margaret's house was like a museum, pristine, cold, with every surface gleaming unnaturally. She served tea in expensive china, her floral dress and pearls screaming wealth. But there was no talk of projects. Instead, Margaret launched into a presentation about her HOA achievements, boasting about eliminating problematic residents to maintain property values. The phrase sent a shiver down Emma's spine when she told me later. Margaret showed her a photo album, meticulously documenting every neighborhood change, new mailboxes, repainted trim, unapproved landscaping, all with creepy, handwritten notes. Some photos looked like they'd been taken from hidden spots, proof Margaret had been spying on everyone for years. "Families who don't fit in," she said, "often need help understanding community standards." Her tone was chilling, like she was talking about statistics, not people. When Emma declined her offer again, Margaret's mask slipped. "Some people avoid responsibility because they doubt their abilities, dear. I'd hate for you and Ethan to face complications." It was a blatant attempt to manipulate Emma, but she didn't flinch. "If issues arise, I'm confident we can resolve them legally, Emma shot back. Margaret's eyes flashed with anger before she forced a smile, but the tension was electric. A week later, an HOA notice hit our mailbox like a grenade. Our rose bush, barely 3 feet tall, allegedly violated some obscure height restriction, with a $100 daily fine until we fixed it. The notice was professional, complete with letterhead, case numbers, and photos of our bush from multiple angles, like Margaret was building a criminal case. I was livid. This is insane, Emma. It's not about the bush, it's about control. Emma studied the notice, then dove into the 200-page HOA rulebook like it was a crime scene. Section 15.3 says height restrictions only apply within 2 meters of the curb, she said, pointing out our bush was 3.7 meters away. Her response was a masterpiece, citing rules, attaching photos, and ending with a polite jab. Perhaps the board could update resident education to avoid such misunderstandings. 2 days later, the HOA retracted the notice with a grudging apology. I thought we'd won, but Emma wasn't so sure. We just embarrassed Margaret publicly, Ethan. That makes her dangerous. The next day, another notice arrived, claiming our house's beige paint identical to half the neighborhood's violated aesthetic standards. Then came one about our mailbox. It was a relentless barrage, each notice more absurd but formatted with chilling precision. Emma kept documenting, building a file like she was preparing for court. Then came the police. One quiet Saturday, 2 officers knocked on our door, their faces stone cold. We've had reports of suspicious activity, Officer Carter said, citing chemical odors and loud noises. I almost laughed. Our chemical odor was Emma's vanilla candle, and the noises were my video game sound effects. But Emma didn't miss a beat. Honey, good thing I finished that international trafficking case report, she said loudly, watching the officer's eyes widen. Special agent in charge, Emma Carter, FBI, she added, flashing her ID. The mood shifted instantly. The officers apologized, promising to question Margaret about her report's accuracy. Across the street, Margaret watched from her window, her face pale as she realized she'd targeted a federal agent. But Margaret didn't stop. 4 days later, a letter from a law firm demanded $5,000 for community disruption and noncompliance. Emma called it a bluff, dissecting the letter's legal errors with surgical precision. Her response, laced with case law and a subtle jab at the lawyer's career ambitions, included her FBI card. The firm backed off immediately, admitting a misunderstanding. Then another letter arrived, this time demanding $10,000 from a different firm. Margaret was shopping for lawyers, paying in cash. A red flag. She's hiding something, Emma said, diving into research. She found Margaret's lawyer, a young attorney desperate for billable hours, and confirmed the cash payments. Desperate people get dirty when cornered, Emma warned. Margaret's next move was a smear campaign. She created a private group, Pinehaven Safety Watch, inviting neighbors to join. Her posts never named us, but painted us as dangerous outsiders, hinting at government overreach and surveillance. Neighbors started avoiding us, crossing the street, whispering. Delivery drivers demanded extra verification. Kids stopped playing near our yard. Emma, who'd faced down criminals, admitted the pain of being shunned hurt worse than she expected. But she didn't break. She dug into Margaret's past, uncovering manipulated HOA elections, forced relocations of dissenting neighbors, and financial irregularities. My cybersecurity skills helped us find inflated invoices, fake vendors, and uncompleted projects. Proof Margaret was embezzling HOA funds to fuel her lavish lifestyle. The annual HOA meeting was Margaret's stage, her chance to bask in control. She strode in, Prada suit gleaming, delivering a speech about fiscal responsibility while taking digs at uncooperative residents. Emma stood, her voice slicing through the room. I have questions about financial transparency, she said, hooking her laptop to the projector. Slide by slide, she exposed Margaret's crimes. $8,000 for landscaping that cost $3,500, $5,000 for a non-existent roof repair matching a spa package Margaret bought. Bank statements, fake invoices, and credit card receipts revealed her theft. The room erupted as neighbors connected the dots. Doubled pool fees, delayed playgrounds, all funding Margaret's luxuries. Margaret's smugness crumbled. She's fabricating this, she screamed, but her shaking voice betrayed her. Emma's final blow was calm but lethal. As a federal officer, I'm obligated to report this to the DA and IRS. Margaret begged, offering to repay everything, but it was too late. Within a week, she was arrested, her empire shattered. Pinehaven changed overnight. Freed from Margaret's grip, neighbors apologized, and the community began to heal. But the lesson lingered. Some battles are worth fighting, even in the quiet suburbs. What would you do if someone tried to destroy you just for saying no? Drop your thoughts below, I'd love to hear them. And if this story got your blood pumping, hit that like button and stick around for more.